If you couldn't go out there, what would that mean?
Kids grow up without immunization. When the outbreaks comes, like measles, then measles is very contaminated.
Good day everybody. Today we've got a bit of a special morning. We're heading to 3 different communities to drop some nurses there. They're going to be doing some different stuff. We're going to chat to one of the nurses in a minute and she'll be able to explain better than me. But this 20-minute flight's about a week's walk, at least a week's walk, over mountains, across rivers, through jungle. And so this saves a massive amount of time. And to be honest, they probably wouldn't be able to get there if it wasn't for the aircraft. So there's such a privilege to be able to go and take these nurses to do the great work they're doing. And we have to show you today 3 of the strips. They're all slightly different, so stay tuned to find out more. Can you explain to me what you're off to do?
We conduct family planning clinics, child health clinics, maternal health, antenatal clinics, and health awareness, health talks, health education. Normally go out for the widows and the orphans and give them health talks, and with anything we support them.
If you couldn't go out there, what would that mean? Because it's very isolated places, right?
When we don't go out, then the immunisations, vaccinations, we're not conducting, then the kids grow up without immunization. I mean, they are not immunized with vaccines. So when the outbreaks comes, like measles, then measles is very contaminated and easy
spreads.
Yeah.
Good morning, 8861, Mike Alpha Juliet, taxi.
Mike Alpha Juliet, good morning, Dad.
Mike Alpha Juliet, taxiing telephone for Moonville, not above 8,000, 8 BB.
Mike Alpha Juliet, pray for traffic.
Mike Alpha Juliet. If we got further altitude, it's going to be valid idle ignition on. Check if that's worked. If it's not, back to idle, and we'll try EPL. If the EPL doesn't work, we'll be into our normal shutdown for an engine failure. Sets, speeds alive, speed checked. Rotating, committed, continuing. Initial obstacles, flaps 20. Bosby 8861, Mike Alpha Juliet departure.
Mike Alpha Juliet, good.
Mike Alpha Juliet departed, telephone, men time 36, climbing not above 8,000, estimating Moonville time 50.
Mike Alpha Juliet, QNH 1012.
1012, Mike Alpha Juliet. Okay, we're levelling at 7,000 feet, which will be enough for us to continue to Moonville. We are going to be in there in approximately 9 minutes, so we'll start doing our brief. So, wind at Moonville with the length of 664 means we can take a 10 knot tailwind. Length we talked about is 664, altitude is 3,080 feet. So we're going to fly the circuit at 39. 39 is set. Surface slope, we're going to add on a 1 knot for our 1% over our 5%, so we've got a 6% runway here. So Moonville is an interesting strip. It's nestled into a bit of a valley. We will fly way down the valley. We'll basically work our way around the terrain and then we'll come in and land. So we've got a bit of wind today coming from the south. Be interesting into Moonville and can be also interesting to our next strip, Busamin after that, which is a bit more of a challenging strip to land into. Starting our descent now into Moonville. It's a beautiful morning, clear skies. Probably this wind's keeping the clouds away a bit today. Interestingly, the way that we're flying is actually the way that you would have to walk to Moonville. As we were saying before, it's about a week's walk, and you can see just from looking down, yeah, just crazy terrain with lots of mountains, rivers, jungle. They call it bush here, but it's yeah, jungle, rainforest. I think navigation itself will be pretty challenging, let alone trying to get down to this area. So we're coming up to 5 miles from Moonville, but not expecting anyone to spot it here. We're actually in the we're following the Sepik River at the moment, and Moonville is in the next valley over, just to our left-hand side. Be almost on top of it before we actually see it. Moonville is just over this ridge line to the left-hand side here. So we pop over, we have to see it. Moonville traffic, Mike Alpha Juliet is joining right-hand downwind Moonville. 438861 Mike Alpha Juliet, circuit Moonville, next call after landing.
Mike Alpha Juliet.
Going to hug this terrain on the left-hand side, give us as much downwind as possible. Okay, distance is good, flaps coming in. Let's be about 3-4 for our final, at 1.5 miles. Speed looking good. We're around onto final. 3-4 at 1.5. We are good.
500.
Committal for us is kind of mid-final, and they'll basically be heading up the valley then back around. Okay, we're now set up on final.
Minimums.
Committed. Bumpy runway. Was 3861, Mike Alpha Juliet landed. Moonville, cancel tower.
Mike Alpha Juliet, Moonville flight terminated.
Mike Alpha Juliet.
Morning, Moonville, morning. Morning.
Okay, so we've dropped our first passengers off here in Moonville. They've actually got a few people that they would like to go to Telefomin, so we'll do the rest of our round and then potentially I can come here on my way back. But yeah, this is Moonville, lovely place. And next we are going to Busamin. So Busamin is basically, there's a valley, we'll take off, we'll turn left up a valley and it's literally there. It's like 5 minutes away. So it's pretty close, but again, probably at least a day's walk for these guys to get there, even though it's 5 minutes, just because of the train. So even this little hop over here is saving them a lot of time. So yeah, let's carry on with it.
Right, that's good. We've positioned our nose wheel over the grass. We're going to be rotating 59. Our sets, brakes release. TV's to green. Speed is checked. Continuing. Initial obstacles. I'll leave our flaps in. So, Busamin's interesting. It's actually tucked into the valley, but on the side of the valley. So we climb all the way up towards the top, and then it's just in on the left-hand side. It's an amazing day for it today. Often it gets clouded in. You can just see how remote it is up here, but right up against this mountain range. And it'll take us about, well, yeah, from takeoff to landing about 4 minutes. But you can imagine just trying to get up here. Okay, here we are. It's just tucked into this little valley down here.
500.
Looks all clear. Cloud down there, and then we want to be up against the mountain on final. The interesting approach.
500.
Just in between the terrain. Good there. Turning up to base. Start our descent. Again, committals that short final left-hand turn once we can't go down the valley anymore. Okay, 5.4, 1.5, pretty much
500.
there. Just nice and light. Pretty amazing how it's just tucked into this side valley. Speed's good.
500.
We're nice and stable. Runway's definitely clear. We've got our flaps 30. We are now committed.
Minimums. Minimums.
Okay, keep the speed in so we can get up the hill. That is Busamin. Pretty stunning.
Mike Alpha Unit, Moonville.
Mike Alpha Unit taxiing Busamin for Evil, not above 6,000, 3 POV.
Mike Alpha Unit. Hello, clear traffic.
Mike Alpha Unit, thanks. Okay, next release. Airspeed alive. Sunline's good. Airborne. Okay, so Busamin's a lovely place there, where we've just been. Probably one of the poorest, or one of the poorer places that we go to, just so isolated. But the people are really hardworking. Actually, the nurses I've got on board were telling me how hardworking they are, and you can just see the testament to that is that runway that they've just carved into the mountainside there. And that the upkeep as well. When I landed, they were really keen for me to be able to tell them whether the runway is in good condition or anything they should do. So I was just telling them the grass was getting a little bit long now, and that's probably the next thing to concentrate on. And straight away they had actually started the lower bit, and they were going to continue and they were going to finish off. So a really nice interaction. I think that's the thing for flying in these kind of areas, is being able to have a relationship with the local communities. And to be able to work with them, for them to be able to keep their strips open in a condition where we can land safely and we can bring them, people can come in and bring the things that they need. So now we're going to be coming out of the highlands into the kind of foothills, into the lowlands, down to Moonville.
We'll continue this flight spread up a bit. It's amazing to think that this is only a few minutes by air, but this will take many days walking through this dense jungle that's beneath us. One thing that's really struck me today is that although I get to fly the aeroplane, that's not really what this is about. It's about the nurses who are willing to spend days away from home to care for people in their communities. It's about the local people who build and continue to maintain these strips. Without them, none of these flights would happen. I feel incredibly privileged that I get to play a small part in all of that.
My daddy, God bless.
Okay, well, that's it. We've got to Moonville. That's our third destination. Took about 11 minutes from Busamin, so they're all pretty close together. But probably trying to walk from Moonville to Moonville here would be many days. Probably by maybe for local people, maybe 3 or 4. For me, maybe a lot. Well, definitely a lot longer. So yeah, we've just got here. The guys at the nurse have been dropped off, and then they'll be picked up on Saturday. So Moonville here is a little bit different again. It's in the lowlands. It's about 900 feet up, so it's a bit of a different climate, and you can kind of see how it's looking. So we're going to leave it there. I'm going to pick up some passengers from here, hopefully go and help some people out from Moonville as well. There's a couple of people that need to go from there, and then we'll continue on with our day.